Falcon fans, and of course, good old Falcon fans. One time for the fan, you already know what it is. You already know what to do. Episode 219 in the building. One time for the fan podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast. We are everywhere. We'll put out our social medias here shortly, but definitely want to follow us everywhere on all channels. T Will's here. Big shout out to Bodie. Big shout out to Chase. Big shout out to Miss Carrie, who will probably be in the chat here shortly. T Will.
Yes, sir.
How's everything going for you, sir?
It goes well, sir. All is well on this Sunday. Excited about my Falcons. Excited about the interview that I saw with Raheem. Really excited about that interview. Every time I watch him speak, I become more secure in what the Falcons are doing, and I'm reassured. And this interview was no different. But excited to talk some Falcons football. And hey, man, all good on a Sunday. How about you, sir? How you feeling?
It's House of the Dragon night.
House of the Dragon.
Feeling good.
Feeling good?
It's going to be a lot going on in about less than an hour.
I can dig it, man. I can dig it.
It's going to be a lot of bloodshed in about less than an hour.
Another red wedding?
It's going to get close to it. You know, last week's episode was pretty crazy. But for me, I had a wild weekend, man. And big shout out to all the Falcon fans that showed up to the Pro Fanatics football tailgate cookout yesterday, because we had a great time, man. We beat the Heat, Terry. We beat the Heat.
We did beat the Heat, sir, because the Heat was something.
The Heat was something, but to see all those fans out there was something funny. We'll talk about that here shortly for all you diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. But yeah, back with another podcast tonight talking Falcons football. It's going to be a light podcast. It's super quick. You know, it's the off season. So the players are still spending time with their family and friends and so on, and getting their vacation time in, traveling the world, or doing their personal workouts, because July 24th, Terry, is right around the corner. And of course, our Atlanta Falcons will be hitting the practice field July 24th for training camp. So it's just pretty much a lot to go over closer to the date. Ain't really getting no news over the weekend. So Falcons are quiet. Most NFL teams are quiet. But the search for Aaron Rodgers is on. So I don't know about being a Jets fan.
Have you seen him?
Have you seen him? Have you seen? Big shout out to all the Falcon fans in the chat. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. T Will, man, you did speak about Raheem, and we'll get to that tonight. But something that we talked about the other night on the podcast that we will talk about shortly too. You've never been to an away game.
I've never been to an away game.
Okay. 100%. I think yesterday you kind of got the feel of what the away game vibe will be.
Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait, man. I mean, it's gonna be something. You know, I came on talking to my wife about it. So you know, because obviously my daughter and I came. My youngest daughter. I have 3 children. Let me not leave out 2 or alleviate 2. I have 3 kids. I've got Mariah, Maya, and Zach. So Maya, my youngest daughter, came with me yesterday, and she really had a great time. You know, she came back to my wife and downloaded what happened or whatever. And Jack, I probably shouldn't say this. She just adored your wife, man. She really loved your wife. She thought she
was it the way that we won in the Spades game against everybody? Because I was cutting them up over there on Spades. Now, I'm not a professional Spades player, but pretty good at what I do. I must
cutting them up like Ginzu. Man,
you saw me, Terry. You saw me in the moment. Now you know as a fan how I would be during the games, because you saw what happened.
Hey man, Spades. You cutting them up like you back there making some sort of I don't know, meat dish, man. You just cutting them up in slices, and killing them. And he just kept getting 7 and 6 and 7 and 6 and having 5 in his and you kept throwing out the jokers. I don't know what happened, but you kept getting jokers.
You gotta know how to play the hand. When you're playing spades, if you ever see somebody playing spades and they're moving right to left, they're setting up.
Is that what it is?
That means they have a lot of spades in their hand. Most of the time, I'm talking about the heavy right to left, not where you just put, one card here, one card there. I'm talking about when you're doing like this, when you're pulling. So at one point, it got down to like the last 7, 8 cards. I put 7 cards on the table right in front of Thomas. I had the one card in my hand. I was like, play whatever you want. You ever see somebody put the card on the table? You know them last 8 books is set. Somebody getting set up in this joke. So they weren't playing with me on that space table yesterday.
Wow.
But big shout out to everybody that did show up. We'll talk about that shortly. But you know who else is not to be played with, T. Will?
Who would that be, sir?
Man, that would be the OG, man. That would be the legend, Ice Cube, who just mentioned that a 4th Friday movie is now happening. It is in the works. So that seems to be a moment. Terry, you are right. You are right on point. So big wow for Ice Cube. 4th Friday movie getting ready to come out. Not this year, probably not next year. I'm looking at probably 2026 because I've heard this story before about the work movie, and then this guy might decline about his pay and all that type of stuff. I think the Cat Williams interview recently was kind of shook some things up too as well. So for fans in the chat, it's going down in a major way. Ice Cube said he is working on the 4th Friday movie. Terry, you're a big fan of the Friday movies?
I am.
Which one was you say is your favorite so far of all 3 of them?
I really like the first one. The second one was pretty good. The third one, for whatever reason, was funny to me. So the first one was funny, right? The first one was funny. I think my funniest scene from that one was when Chris Tucker is telling the story of when he got high with a certain group of folks and he was running around in the chicken coop. Right, and that was funny. But the third one, the funniest part to me was when what's his name? Golly, big dude.
Debo?
Dude just got out of jail.
Oh, yeah. Not Debo. Was it Tyrone?
Yeah, was coming after Cat Williams, and Cat got the pliers and walked him out, and he was like, "All right,
the bathroom scene."
No, not this. After that, like when he got him out there and got him by the pliers or whatever, by the short and curlies, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna let you go, but if I let you go," and then he chased, and it was just funny. It was just like that, Then what's his name beat up Santa Claus, or Santa Claus beat them up in the beginning. It was funny, like that one to
Ricky
me.
Smiley. So it's going to be great to see who's going to be in the movie because you have a whole list of stars that Cube can work with. I think everybody wants to see Chris Tucker in this movie. Yeah. Right. This might even be the last Friday, the way it's looking at it. These guys are growing up. They're getting older. A lot of them not even doing movies no more. They're doing like little small time films. So this movie should have a big, release day, numbers, kind of like how Bad Boys 4 kind of got their numbers too as well. I went to go see that last night. That was actually pretty good.
That was a great movie. It was a
good movie. It was a good movie. Couple things. What did you give Bad Boys?
Me personally,
on a grade of on your grade scale, would you give Bad Boys?
Out of 5 or out of 10? Well,
I guess graded like in school, like what? A, B, C, D. What would you give?
For me, it's an A+. Now, and
I'm
going to tell you why.
Terry, we might have to start a podcast for movies and entertainment because I did not give Bad Boys 4 an A+.
My wife said that, and I'm totally down for that. My wife said, because I love movies.
I'm like C+,
Falcons and
B-.
Braves are my number 1 passion. Number 2 would have to be movies. So careful what you ask for, my friend. But I'm going to tell you why. And I'm not going to give it away. All right. So if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not trying to give it away. But specifically, there's an issue that Will goes through because of the death of his captain. And it is something that I am dealing with now because, as you guys know, my mom passed away May 16th. Mm-hmm. And it happens to me quite frequently. And if you watch the film, you'll know what I'm talking about. And what spoke to me was when he figured out what the root cause was. Because he's going through, it was a great story. And I don't want to give it away, but, there's kind of a shift in the paradigm of the characters. It was a great story, right? Think about what happens to Martin and how he comes back and he's fearless, right? It was a great, I loved it. I loved the concept. And it resonated with me because I'm telling you, you go through something like that. If you got any if you doubt yourself,
mm-hmm.
and I don't want to give it away, so I'm not going to get granular in detail, but that is spot on in regards to what goes on when something like that happens. I was with them line and stuff. I thought that was great. So, and again, it was a build up from 3, right? Because remember, a lot of this is tied into what happened in 3. So I thought the way they tied that together and they took it was just great. I loved it. That was me, right? And again, when our audience and Jack, you say that in jest, but maybe we should, right? But anyway,
you never know what could be in the works. I mean, I'm
gonna tell you something. I loved that movie. Because it was relatable to me, right? I like that. I've seen so many movies.
It was doing big numbers at the box office this weekend,
yeah.
And I'm sure with Ice Cube dropping this new movie coming out, and we do play Ice Cube's Raiders this year too as well.
Yeah.
So Falcons got to go out there to Vegas and give the Raiders that beat down. But the 4th installment Friday coming out probably, I'm guessing 2026 once that crew and cast everything gets together.
I hope they do it justice.
You just got to get Chris Tucker in the movie. Once Chris Tucker says yes,
is he going to cuss though? Is he going to cuss?
I mean,
and not that he has.
Who knows what Chris is doing right now? I mean, do you know if he's cussing right now? Right?
No,
I mean,
I don't think he is.
I know he plays golf, and if you play golf like the way most of us play it, if you're not on the tour, you're gonna cuss a couple times too.
Yeah, I don't think he curses at the rate that he did. I think he's completely different, a totally different guy from what he was. Either way, it'll be interesting. But I just hope they come up with a story that is worthy of a sequel.
It has to be the finishing point of Friday at that point, because it took you so long to get to that cast and get this movie made. You got to wrap it up now. I wouldn't look for the Fast and the Furious series. There shouldn't be no Friday 10 going on, right? This should be, even looking at Bad Boys, I'm watching it like, I don't want to give it away, how you carry the story now, because it took you a while to get the guys together as well with everybody's careers, and it's like, does Martin want to do another one? You know, I'm sure Will would probably want to do another one, but Will probably got 15, 20 different movies lined up between now and the next Bad Boys.
He could.
But I know Cube was waiting a long time to get that cast together for Friday, so that's good to see that whoever agreed to it, and now it's getting ready to happen. So big shout out to, bringing back something that, we grew up on. Like a lot of us grew up watching the first Friday, second Friday, third Friday. Now we get a chance to see another one, just like Bad Boys. Terry, it's going down in a major way. Uncle Steve is in the chat. He said Chris is more PG than R now in his stand-up. Saw him do a set last year.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Uncle Steve. Big shout out to everybody
Uncle
in the chat.
Steve, what's going on?
Terry is in the chat too as well.
What's up? Hey, I love the name. Obviously love the name. What's up, Carrie?
Carrie is in the chat. Atlanta Falcons fan Demic. Gotta give a big shout out to
Demic. What's up?
Fan Demic. Been rocking with us for a long time here on the channel. I believe he's a content creator too as well. So I want to reach out to you, see if we can get you on the channel, man, because we do have some special guests coming up, Terry. And it's always good to chat it up with Falcon fans for our Falcon Fan Talk segment that we have. Jamal D is in the chat. He said it will not be the same without
That's
John
the other
Withers.
thing. So
and Debo too as well.
And Ezel.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right. And Anthony Johnson. That's right. You're right.
Correct. So, I don't know.
If you could find some way quickly as we get to this before we start getting to the next segment to pay tribute to those three guys in the last movie, like some way, somehow, because it's still in the Friday universe. Right. If you go back to the old house, hey, where's Debo? Where's Ezel? Like, oh man, so something like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where's Pops? Started off something where since the last time we seen them to now, we got to know what the update is, right? Even for Chris Tucker, he might even come back as the preacher, come back as a pastor, come back as somebody who doesn't want to curse.
That would make sense.
Or joke about him not wanting to curse.
That
you know
would
what I'm
make
saying?
sense. Yeah.
I think they looked at. I'm not even gonna give away the Bad Boys movie because I always mention Martin's health away from the film, and if you kind of look at the film, it's like Bad Boys kind of played into the health scare too as well with Martin. But you guys go check it out. It was a good film. Terry, it's going down in a major way, man. Yesterday, I got a chance to meet you for the first time, man. We talk Falcons football all the time here on the podcast, either on the phone, in the chat with Carrie, Bodie, Chase, and just we enjoy being Falcon fans. It's a 24/7 thing. It's a diehard every day of the year type of thing. And you can see yesterday with the Rise Up Tour fan club, our setup that we had out there, all the other NFL teams that had their fan clubs out there too as well. People are ready for football when there's not football.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter if it's a week away, a month away, 2 months away, 3 months away. You can get fans to put on their gear in 96-degree weather and come out and sit around, play cards, throw the football around, and enjoy being a fan.
Almost run into the bushes. All of that, man. Great. All of that.
Yo, we got some stories to tell. But let me tell you something. I don't know if Terry played wide receiver back in high school or college, or if you went semi-pro, or you never know. You might be under a different name right now. You probably played in the NFL. I gotta ask Terry.
I wish.
But we was throwing the football around yesterday with some Giants fans and a couple Cowboys fans. And the Giants fan, he throws just like Daniel Jones too. It was all over the fucking place. So it was like, I'm telling Cuz post fade, bro. I'm doing the fade. You ready? Go deep. Man, for what? For what? Why? Like, we got this little space right here, bro. You got enough room. Terry, you saw it. It's enough room to run around that field yesterday.
Right.
And the fans that was playing football, the kids that was playing football. Right. Bro, I'm telling the Giants fan, like, bro, I'm running this fade, bro. Like, just catch me here. You see my hand out, bro? Catch me here. He chalking that joker back like Daniel Jones.
Boom.
The Bushes caught it. But Terry, I saw you make a catch yesterday.
Yes, sir.
And honestly, otherwise than that Julio Jones Super Bowl catch on the sideline that most fans will be, probably won't remember. Mm-hmm. That catch right there was probably second to it.
You're being gracious, sir. You're being very gracious, and I love you.
Caught the pass, kind of like on the fingertips, but you brought it in. You was going downhill. You saw the bushes, but your toe drag swagged the sideline before you went out of bounds. That's, if I was the referee, I would have ran down there and said, "First down, Terry, right here. We're taking the ball from right here." That was a 2-yard. That was a 2-minute drill. Who threw the ball? Who threw the ball to you?
The Giants fan.
The Giants fan threw the ball to you. But that was the catch when I said, "Oh, Terry." Bro, everybody over there by the Rise Up Tour fan club turned around like, yo.
That was luck, sir. And it was more like the ball caught me. And I just didn't want to look bad, man. I just didn't want to look bad. So he put it out there. I'm like, oh, shit, I got to go. So I just put my arm out there, got lucky, caught it.
Let me tell you something.
Didn't want to go in the bushes and embarrass myself in front of my daughter.
Come here and play that Kendrick Lamar type vibe. Nah, we're not doing that. No. What I saw was Terry being disrespectful on that field. He was showing other fan clubs. This is what the Falcons fans got over here. Because look, I was catching the field from yesterday right in front of the 49er group like, can't wait to play y'all, boy. Can't wait to see y'all. They were looking at me like, cuz really think he in the game, don't he? He really think he playing right now. Man. Remember that Jamie Foxx, LL Cool J moment when they talking about, he come out the locker room wearing the face paint and got I'm an actor. The 49er fan, the Seahawks fans were watching me like, this dude right here running hella routes right now in this 96-degree weather. I was enjoying myself. Plus, I brought the football out, and I was telling people I'm about to bring the football out. So I want to see y'all run some routes. But then to see the Giants, yo, throw me the ball. You ready? You gonna do this? I'm gonna run some routes. Hell, we could have played 7. We could have lined them up NFC versus AFC out there. They had enough people out there yesterday.
We could have. Yeah.
But Terry, the fan club, the tour, the picnic, everything that you saw yesterday, that was your first time being out there with us with the Rise Up Tour fan club. You know, we've been doing this for some years now, but just tell everybody for here in the chat the vibe of what you saw yesterday at the fan club picnic, which is June 22nd, months away from when NFL kicks off.
I felt like I was amongst Falcons family. You know, I felt like I was back home. The only difference was it was folks that I know from the chat and from the Falcons universe. I felt like I was amongst people who thought like me, who talk like me, who laugh like me. I felt like I was amongst my people who love the Falcons, who live and die with it, who want to see the Falcons win, who want to see a Super Bowl, who want that more so than anything. I felt at home. And it was great. It was a great time. My daughter had a great time. She enjoyed trying to see me get out there and move my fat arse She
made one hell of a catch. I'll tell you, the first thing I said to Terry was the only thing we don't have is somebody recording that. Because that right there, I would have sent that to country right now. Like, bro, bring your wide receiver out. I got my wide receiver right here.
No, not at all.
And for those that was there yesterday, they almost saw me throw 80 on the run. See,
80 on the run,
the other day, man, I was throwing like, I'm working with my son. He trying to play wide receiver. I threw like 100 passes, so my arm a little sore. Arm a little sore, man. Right now, it's sore. I was playing golf, and you got
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really give him 80 yesterday. I gave him about 35. You know what I'm saying? But it made it.
Hey, look, man, it was a business decision. I get it. But
and a health decision too as well.
I hear that. Yeah, no, she was talking about when we got up under the cabana or whatever, and we were all doing our Falcons thing or whatever, and she really enjoyed that.
So that was pretty nice to see because, Lisa Shepard's in the chat, were all 32 teams represented at the picnic. A lot of these fan clubs, they get an option to just choose if they want to show up or not show up. Some of the bigger crews, like you saw Dallas yesterday, of course, Dallas. And we talk about these fan club stuff all the time. But Dallas's group, like our homeboy, I introduced you to the guy who runs that group. They got over like 4,000 members in their group, and they're in Georgia.
Yeah.
They all pay memberships.
Mm-hmm.
Big money. Like you got to buy shirts, you got to buy a pair. They don't play. You should have seen them out there yesterday. They had like 15 tents set up.
They were deep.
When they show up, what did they do? They show up in their Cowboys gear, and they were representing hard.
Mm-hmm.
But guess who's next to them? The Giants.
Yeah.
Guess who's on the other side of them? The Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots, you know what they were flexing? All ring tents. Rings. So we had to stay far away from that tent.
Yeah, we did. And we did.
The Jaguars fan base of Atlanta was out there. The
Chiefs fan
base of Atlanta was out there.
I saw them.
The Seahawks fan base was in Atlanta.
I didn't see the Seahawks.
The Seahawks was close to the person that had the Vikings tent in between the Bucks and the Seahawks. Matter of fact, when you came, the Seahawks people already left. You showed up.
That makes sense.
Falcon fans, man, I'm telling you, we got numbers out here. We got numbers all across the country. I think when fans see you travel on the road, when you go to Vegas, you're going to see fans be like, bro, how deep is our fan base? I think the game in LA a couple years ago really showed like, damn, this fan base is hella deep away from the NFL stadium, right? I'm sorry, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Mm-hmm. So just something to look at, but no, not all 32 teams was there yesterday. Now, if their fan clubs wanted to show up, I'm sure they would have got the information because the same way we got the information is the same way the Cowboys group got their information. Yeah. The same way the Giants group got their information, the Seahawks, the Bucks, the Jags, the Patriots, and the 49ers too as well. They had their little spot back there in the back. And then the Panthers, they tried to do something, but, it was only two of them. So.
Oh, wow. I'm not even going to give that a wow. That was just a wow.
Yeah. Sad. And of course, Lisa Shepard said my friend was there. She said they were chanting Duval the whole time. The Jaguars fan base of Atlanta's, they got some numbers out here, but it's not like, the Falcon fans. And I think outside of us, the Cowboys would be next. The Steelers would be next after that.
I didn't see the Steelers yesterday.
Steelers were good. They had a couple of fans just, floating around there, but they didn't have their actual tent.
One guy. Yeah, I didn't see. I saw the one guy there, but I didn't see like a tent. So.
Yeah, the one group that had the Cowboys group over there, that had the Steel City of Atlanta because they have their chapter here in Atlanta. I know they have a bar too as well in College Park. So, and of course, he was sitting over there when the young lady from the Giants, who has her group, she walked over there to us and said, "Hey, she wants to throw a party with us in December when the Giants come down here. She has a big group of Giants fans." Coming from New York, and we was playing spades. I was getting ready to cut Thomas with that damn. I saw him over there looking with that 3 of hearts. I'm like, boy, don't you throw that 3 of hearts out? I had my 4 spades ready. Then I hear, yo, son. I look up. I'm like, what's up? And she was like, want to let you know about our fan club. Want to hang out with you all. I was like, hold on 1 second. Told you don't throw that damn 3 of hearts. Had to bust his head. Let's go back to this. Finish this business meeting. So the young lady has said that she has her fan club, and they're pretty deep in numbers coming from New York. But she wants to throw a big party with us in December. So, Terry, you got a chance to see it. A lot of those members there, too, as well. They're going on the cruise this week. We have a cruise this week. Falcon fans leave Friday on a cruise. There's over 100 Falcon fans from the Rise Up Tour fan club on the cruise. Mm-hmm. There is over 100 Falcon fans from the Rise Up Tour fan club on the cruise. We got everything set up. We have itinerary set up. They got Jersey Day on the cruise. They got, I think it's, like wear your Falcon red they got different things like Thomaston set up and the whole team. Like a big shout out to the admin team, big shout out to the staff, the crew that makes everything work over there. Michael Nolan's in the chat. He said, rise up to our membership. You dropped it in the chat with the link. He said, head over and get your membership. It's going to be an epic, exciting season. A lot of information I'll talk about here shortly before we wrap up the podcast. But we have the host hotels that we already set up. Our host hotel. Oh, Terry, I don't know if you saw the email. The host hotel in Washington already sold out in less than 5 hours.
Damn.
So all those rooms that we booked in Washington is gone. So now we have to go ahead and, they're gone. So now we have to update it and get a new set of lists of rooms for tomorrow. But this is what we do. I think you saw some of the fans there, Terry, yesterday for the first time that said as well they've never traveled to an away game. They've never been to an away game. They don't know nothing about it. Terry, you also mentioned that the other day on the podcast. Like you have never been in a away. You've never been to an away game. Mm-hmm. But how long have you been a Falcons fan, Terry?
Let me see. 47 years.
Terry, you've been a Falcon fan for 47 years.
Mm-hmm. Four score in 7 years.
You've seen the highs and the lows of the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, I have.
Inside the stadium, on the practice field, different places that the Falcons, of course, from the Georgia Dome, Fulton County Stadium back there, of course, the Mercedes-Benz now. But you have never packed your bags and been on the road to go see the Falcons play.
I have not.
In 47 years.
In 47 years, I've never done it.
You've never done it. Terry, is there a reason why you've never been on the road to see the Falcons play? I know, we're not questioning your fandom because you are definitely a diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. But in 47 years, what was it that just never had you on the road?
I mean, I don't know, man. Our family growing up, we took one vacation a summer. You know what I mean? My dad and mom picked a location and we went. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We just that was not a thing growing up in our house. I watched every Falcon game. But my dad was what's the word? Frugal, maybe. Mm-hmm. So if he was going to travel, it was going to be in the summer. It wasn't going to be in the winter. And I shouldn't. Let me take a step back. I'm 54, so that was growing up. I guess I just carried the tradition when I became an adult, and I never did. To be honest with you, for a long time, I preferred watching the game at home than watching it at the stadium because, I mean, okay, I have very bad OCD, which means I can't just buy one shirt. I got to buy 30. I can't just buy one pair of shoes. I got to buy 30. I got to fix it the way I like it. You see my screens up in here. It really is like, I'm an air traffic controller. So when I watch a game, I like to rewind it. I like to look at the angles. I like to, and a lot of that you can't do
at the game.
At the game. And the person who got me out of it was my, I love both my brothers, but my brother, Eric Parker, was like, hey man, you gonna get your ass down here. You gonna see
these Falcons play.
Get your ass down here.
Watch that replay. We'll talk about it the following day.
We had that conversation probably about 3 years ago. He was like, you gonna get your ass. You are going to a game. I don't care what I got to do. If I got to, and I was like, all right, bro. And I went and I loved it. I loved the energy. Right. And especially if you've ever been around Eric Parker at a game, is he's just a funny person because he will inevitably there will be a fan of another team who will be silly enough to say something.
And somebody's going to say something to Eric because his demeanor at a game is usually it gives off diehard presence.
Yes.
Diehard and energy in this area. This circle has diehard Falcon fans. Right here. So if you're not a part of this area, you might want to not say nothing.
Right. Correct.
Then this energy then goes to that side.
Oh,
that's where the problem starts. So he's also been a season ticket holder for a long time. So he's never been in a situation where he's had to slap up a few fans every now and then for talking reckless. But he will get on your bad side if you're if you're a fan from a different team in that area and you're talking trash about the Falcons.
He's not mean about it, but
he knows how to do it.
He's skilled in that area because we were at the Bucks game and somebody was talking about the Bucks and how they had taken Tom Brady out, and he was like, "Well, if you didn't put great value Tom Brady in there, we would have." But the way he said it, it just rolled off his tongue, and the entire section just started. They just erupted in laughter, like that. You know what I mean? So, like, just watching that, I was like, "All right, I got to do it again and again and again." So for me, it's okay, but I've never been to an away game because honestly, I don't really like to travel without, the wife. You know what I mean? So when I go, she's gonna go with me. Well, she's not gonna go to the Carolina game because she'll watch it, but like that's not her thing. You get what I'm saying? She's gonna go with me to Tampa Bay. I don't think she's gonna go for New Orleans. She's gonna go with me to Tampa Bay. She's gonna go with me to the home games. She's not gonna go for Charlotte.
She might want to look into the other trips versus that New Orleans one and go to that New Orleans game because Terry, that might be the night you end up in one of those New Orleans jails because I know how you are. If you get around a lot of fans who don't like the Falcons, we've talked about that before on the phone. But
let me tell you something.
When you're down in New Orleans, there's a whole nother breed of Saints fans down there,
bro. I get it, but man, I'm old. You know what I mean? I'm not, bro. I want to watch the game. I'm still employed. I ain't retired. I need to be back on Monday so I can go to work.
That might be the moment in New Orleans where you got your wife with you, like, Terry, calm it down now. We still got to get back to Atlanta. Versus Carolina and Tampa, you might be like, where's the trash talk? Where's the fans? Where y'all at?
Before I leave, my wife is gonna be like, "Look here, let me explain something to you. Okay, if I get a call, if I get, no, you got to worry about that with me, bro. I want to see the game, I want to enjoy it, and I just want to have fun, man. I'm excited about this season for several reasons. I met some guys yesterday. So Anthony, right? Met him, great guy.
Drove down from Tennessee.
Had a conversation with him and his friend who I think also joined the Rise Up tour, right?
His friend signed up too as well.
So I wanted to definitely shout them out.
Had 3 people sign up yesterday, man.
Right. I met another gentleman. I can't think of his name, but they were all 3 together. And just enjoyed talking with them. But meeting fans like that, and then I'm going to be traveling for the first time. I'm really looking forward to it, man. I think it's going to be a great season. I think we're going to win a lot of games. I think we're going to do some damage. I think it's going to be fun on the road. So I'm looking forward to it. And I don't have to fly. So that's even better, guys. I don't have
and
to.
We're trying to make sure, when it goes to those division games, Terry, if you can make it to those, not only get a chance to experience a little bit of, what you saw yesterday, on a bigger scale when we get to the away game. Because I think you saw us with, when we went to go take the photo underneath the cabana and how we just put on for the city of Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Right. We are diehard Atlanta Falcon fans. It could be a Publix giveaway tomorrow. We'll try our best to be there. Right. Yeah. Because when it comes to being a Falcon fan, this is 24/7 with us. I think that's what it goes to what Raheem mentioned the other day, what it takes to be a Falcon in that interview in the Ring of Honor video with Matt Ryan. That goes out to the fans too as well. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to be true to this. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about, I'll pay attention. I'll watch them every now and then. And I done heard a lot of disrespect from fans too as well, talking about the Falcons. Like, damn, are y'all fans?
I think a lot of them are hurt. You know what I mean? Because let me tell you,
2016 probably hurt them pretty bad.
And before that, like you say, I've been a fan for 47 years. 1980 hurt them. 91 hurt him. 98 hurt him. 2016. But if we mess around and win a Super Bowl, Jack, I'm telling you.
I feel like it's going to happen, Terry. I feel like it's going to happen. And you know who's going to help us get to the Super Bowl? Raheem Morris. And Raheem recently, the other day, had a conversation with The Athletic, Terry.
Great interview.
Man, let me tell you something. When Raheem speaks, what did you say? It makes you feel like you want to go ahead and put the pass.
I want to hit somebody, right? I just and when I say that, I'm not like targeting any. It just Raheem makes me want to play football. He makes me want to go outside and light somebody up. And maybe run a post route and catch it and dive. But Raheem is just outstanding. In this particular interview, however, he got into some things that I wasn't aware of. One of them that he touched on is seeing what happened post the 2016 Super Bowl and how Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff were not as connected after that happened. And that makes sense to me now that I think about it, because it's like 2016 was great, 2017 was not bad, and then it just kind of came off the hinges. And what that said to me, he is a leader of men. What that said to me is that they were no longer as connected. And so when Raheem is talking about he and Terry Fontenot being connected, this is real.
Yeah.
This is very real with him.
It's another interview that it sounds like, I mean, it's been said so many times from Raheem that it might feel like it's scripted, but like he's an actor, man. Like he has his lines down to the T of what he knows he's going to say.
I think it's real with him.
I think he is speaking the truth.
Yes.
About this team. He's speaking the truth about Kirk Cousins. He talked about Michael Penix. Once again, before I listened to the interview, I said, 32 minutes? He's going to mention Kyle Shanahan. He's going to mention Sean McVay. He's going to mention Atlanta. I already knew that before the interview started.
Yeah.
But he's sitting there wearing the A hat. How it's not a Falcon hat? Like it's Atlanta. This is like home for Raheem.
Right. It is. It really and let me tell you something.
Saying that on this channel since the moment he did the first press conference when he mentioned home and that feeling of being back in the A. He dropped some names during the interview of people he worked with in the past that's still here in the Falcons organization. Being a leader of men, still like we talked about here on the channel, he is a player's coach, but he also won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. He also won a Super Bowl down there in LA. And honestly, in 2016, if we would never sold that game, Terry, he wouldn't have had another Super Bowl.
He would. The thing that impressed me the most about that Super Bowl is, and credit to whoever it was from the Athletic that interviewed.
Oh, shout out to the Athletic too as well. I forget what the journalist's name is, but I'm definitely gonna reach out to him.
Great interview. But the thing that stood out to me is, they ask him all the time, okay, well, what have you learned? And in this interview, he went into it. One of the things he said is, there's certain things I didn't pay attention to. He said, I was young, I was arrogant. He said, there's certain questions I didn't ask. He said, there's certain things that went on that I was not aware of. And a lot of that is connectivity in regards to the GM and head coach and how these things have to be. He said, I probably should have been more connected to my GM, and my GM should have been more connected to me. And I think that's something that he took from that, right? And if you look at it, everything that he is talking about is true. He talked about the fact that he had a new quarterback, and he didn't blame it on him, right? But he alluded to it. But look at what he did here. They got two quarterbacks. We got that out of the way. He is very connected. He and Terry Fontenot are like this. He said, you know what? I showed up for the draft. He shows up for me. We are intertwined. We are together. And he mentioned the word collaboration.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important. I think Raheem has built a winning team, but I think he knows what he's doing. It's one thing to just put a bunch of guys in a room and say, go do this. It's another one to put a bunch of guys in the room and say, hey, you do this, you're good at this, and truly collaborate. He talked about working around the cover 2 in Tampa Bay, cover 3 somewhere else. And what really impressed me is that he said, I'm at the point now to where I match defenses to the players that I have. I'm gonna fit a defense to the player's strength, right? He mentioned obviously Aaron Donald when he worked with him, but he mentioned some other guys that he had that they specifically geared blitzes for, or they moved around Jaden, what's his name for the Rams? Jaden, help me out, Jack.
You talking about the defensive lineman?
No, the cornerback, big guy.
Jalen Ramsey?
Jaden. He talked about how he moved him around, from cornerback to safety to different positions. And it was a great interview because he talked in depth. He talked about being around Kyle and then, the coach from LA and Matt LaFleur and all of these,
too as well. I knew that was coming.
Yes. And all of these offensive minds and how he just studied from them and learned from them. And he said that they're basic variations to what they do. One guy may vary over here, but it's essentially the same thing, which is throwing off the play action pass, looking for weaknesses, basically one cut and go and stuff like that. But to me, he really got into the nuts and potatoes and the X's O's. When he talked about Kirk Cousins, he said, we looked at Kirk Cousins, the person, first. Remember when you and I had a conversation?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, for Kirk to be demographically the guy that he, and I'm not talking about race. I'm talking more so about dad, right? Kirk gives off dad vibes.
Yeah.
And for these young men in Minnesota to give him, hey, we're going to give you all this jewelry and turn you into a Kirko chains, they're really seeing a part of themselves in you. So what that says to me is Kirk is also a leader. He knows how to connect with people, right? He knows how to build relationships. And I think that's what Raheem was talking about when he looked at Kirk. He also talked about how they look at Michael Penix and how if they didn't have Kirk and Michael Penix, this thing that they've done would not work. It was a great interview. I would invite anybody to go watch it because there's no way you can watch that and not come up, not your impression from that, not be, we're going to kick ass this year.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm telling you, every time I watch Raheem, I feel better about it. I feel great about that interview. You know what I mean? Like every now and then you'll hear a GM or a coach, and maybe 10% of it you feel great about, and the other 20 you're like, that's just coach speak. There's no fluff with him. He is who he is. He is 100%.
It's just the demeanor from Raheem that I also like as a coach too as well. Like he's about business. He's won the big game before. He's been around some big coaches too. He's learned from a lot of them as well, and he's also taking the time to ask questions because when you ask questions, you get answers. Also, the experience that he has in this room with Grady Jarrett and AJ Terrell and Jesse Bates. I mean, it might make it a little bit easier for Raheem's job this year as a head coach. But just look at the interview with The Athletic. Big shout out to Robert Mays from The Athletic too as well, who conducted the interview.
Yes.
But look at Raheem, right? He's not wearing his Falcons shirt or anything. He's wearing a regular A hat, like just like straight from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just his swag. That's just who he is, right? You know what I'm saying? He's got the vibe of somebody that you want to see as your head coach, right? He's been waiting for this for a while, but he definitely waited to the right time to get this job because he's been interviewing. He's been talking to other teams too as well when he was with the Rams. And back in those years, he didn't know where he would end up. But I think when Atlanta's job opened up, he knew where he would end up. We talked about that too. He was one of the first people the Falcon interviewed when they went through that head coaching process. But to get a guy in the building that continues to mention some of these coaches who have, winning cultures that they've been a part of, and Raheem was there. He also talked about winning a Super Bowl as being a coordinator. Man, that is big to know that this guy is not coming over with a much experienced team, I have to say. Even the rookies are going to be standing out this year. But the team is from Jake Matthews to Chris Lindstrom to even Kyle Pitts now to hell, I can throw Drake London in the mix because he's the damn vet in that wide receiver room at this point. You got Grady Jarrett, David Amiata, Lorenzo Carter, who's been in the league for quite some time too as well. Lorenzo Carter is not in his third year, right? Yeah. So you're talking about guys with experience, guys with knowledge, guys that know that they want to go get it. Players is not just playing for a check. They want to win, right? And Grady Jarrett is one of those guys too as well. So big shout out to what Raheem has going on this season. And I think it's going to be the year that we do win the division again. I
think it's
get back to the playoffs.
I think it's going to be a phenomenal year. And there are two things you said I want to touch on, and then I'm done. When you talk about the culture, the thing he said they have a we, not me culture.
Yes.
We, not me culture.
He was speaking about LA.
He's talking about LA. But I know he's going to bring that here. And the other thing that he said, and I thought it was such a great answer. Raheem impresses me. Like, look, if you ever want to know how to do an interview for a job, just watch Raheem. They asked him, they said, well, your last gig was in 2011 or whatever. When you finally got the opportunity, did you think it's about time? Seeing all the other coaches that got opportunities, really trying to set them up to be, I'm not going to say try to set them up to be negative, but, Yeah, I don't know. But the way he answered it was beautiful. He said, you know what? That would be such a selfish thought for me to say I should, if you know, he said there are other coaches that are getting their first opportunities. He said, I got my first opportunity at 32 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, so I'm not going to be selfish. It is what it is. It happened how it needed to happen. But for me to think that that was such a selfish thought, and he turned what could potentially be a pitfall in that question to a resounding, I was impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. If I was interviewing right, I would hire him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think he gets it.
He can
I
win you over as a coach. He can just win you over as just
as
a
a
normal,
person,
regular person.
as
Right?
a
He doesn't have to
mayor,
talk. He doesn't have to talk football with you.
he does
Right?
it.
Yeah.
He knows how to connect with it. It's like you say, look at him. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like, and it's different when you get some of these coaches in these rooms and you talk football with them. Because a couple years ago, Terry, I don't want to cut you off too, but
You're
Dean
fine. Go ahead.
Pease, me and Bodie talked to Dean Pease on the sideline one day. And also I spoke to his wife too as well. And she mentioned that Dean can talk football all day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just football when he wakes up, football at lunch, football in the evening, all that. So when Dean retired now, he gets the chance to just relax, right? He gets the chance to not even speak about football. But then knowing that he spent so much time in the game, I bet he's talking football right now. Raheem comes off as one of those coaches too as well. But then again, he comes off as a coach that, man, we can talk about the Braves. We can talk about the Hawks. We can talk basketball. We can talk shoes. We can talk clothes. We can talk entertainment, right? I didn't get that with Arthur Smith and Dan Quinn. It was just like, hi, coach. You know what I'm saying? That type of vibe. But Raheem is a player's coach. He's a fan's coach too as well. That's why I think he's putting that energy and that element into the room where it's like, bro, it's bigger than just don't step on that logo. We're finna go win this shit. Like these years that I'm here, we're gonna go win this shit.
I think Raheem is a jack of all trades.
Hey, I hit him with that Jack Spade yesterday when I cut that book. I was like,
bam.
That's the Jack of Spades. I turned around and said, that's the Jack of Spades.
Bam.
I wanted to see who heard me. I said, that's the Jack of Spades I just won with.
Bam.
But it's something when you're playing spades and the 9 of diamonds wins a book. That is not a possible. You don't count your books and say the 9 of diamonds is going to win a book. That's my possible. I just want to put that out there. But Terry, continue.
I think you had the ace of diamonds in that, so I think you kind of let that. I think what it
you
was.
You gotta lead them on the Oregon Trail before you let them off the cliff.
It was a beautiful setup. You know, it fell into your hand. You're like, I don't have to play my ace here. I think it was great. You know, but no, you wouldn't identify that as a possible. I would agree. But anyway, long and short of it is, I think Raheem is a dynamic personality. I think he is a leader of men. I think he knows what he's doing. And I think we're lucky to have him. And I think this is just the beginning. And I cannot wait for this season, man. This is one of the best interviews. And you know, Snit's had a couple that I really like. Snit, the coach of the Braves. But this interview with Raheem, I'd encourage you to watch it because he really got into the meat and potatoes. This wasn't just a general coach speak. He got into the meat and potatoes a little bit. And if you go back and you do your research, which I do, you know, I pull receipts.
I mean, you have enough.
He did not lie.
Computers behind you to.
He did not. You're absolutely right. You're 100% right, sir. Bam.
Like you're in that. What's the cop from Bad Boys? What's the guy?
John. Oh, what's his name? Tall guy.
The rookie, the young guy.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. Yeah. I just need the Coke bottle glass.
He was probably watching the setup like that's a pretty good damn setup he got in that trailer.
Bro, I need the Coke bottle glasses. That's it.
I know Terry was watching like, how the hell did he rig that 42-inch Panasonic to that 57-inch?
I really was.
Sony.
I really was.
That's a diehard Falcon fan we have here with T-Will in the chat. T-Will, it's great having you here talking Falcons football with us all the time. Once again, big shout to Bodie, big shout to Chase, big shout to Kerry. We got great news. Special guests are going to be here on the show real soon. We already got 2 confirmed. Oh, we actually got more than 2 confirmed, but we got the times now confirmed for 2. So I'll mention those on Wednesday. But Terry, just your quick thoughts about Raheem, this whole interview with The Athletic before we get up out of here.
Man, I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I'm encouraged by it. I just can't wait for this season. I'm gonna knock on wood because let me tell you something. I love my Falcons. If you guys don't know, if you cut me open, I swear I bleed black and red. I love my Falcons, and I just hope that this year lives up to what I see when I look at these Falcons, because I am so in love with this team, and I just think they're going to be great. And I pray that everything falls together and we just get what we need, man. Let's just, let's why not us? That's how I feel about it. Jack, what say you, sir?
Excuse me. Raheem, once again, I've mentioned it before. He's going to lead the way. Mm-hmm. He's going to be the person. He's going to be the coach that we need in these past couple of years to really get us over the hump from winning the division to making it to the playoffs. I sound like a robot here. I'm just going to keep repeating myself until season starts, because when it happens, I'm going to feel good about it. That Raheem is going to be the coach to help us get to that next level. Mm-hmm. And I need all Falcon fans to show up and show out. Week 1, Steelers. Week 3, Chiefs. Going to that Saints game early, that Bucks game Thursday night. Get your tickets. Show up, right? Even on the road, if you can make it, make it. If you can't, rep. Be up there early in the morning. Get your tailgate set up, whatever you want to do. Cook, get your family ready. Watch those games. Root for the Falcons, because they need the energy not only in the stadium, but outside the stadium. That 2016 feeling, you can feel the Falcons outside the stadium, right? Like, people knew that this team was ready to go. And I can't wait to see what happens this year. T-Will, it is House of the Dragons time. So it's time.
It is House of the Dragons. It's that time.
Yes, it is that time.
It is that time.
T-Will, shout outs for tonight.
Hey, man, first and foremost, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for all you do for me. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. Rise Up Tour fans, man, enjoyed seeing you guys that came out yesterday. Had a great time. Rise Up Tour fans in this chat, I absolutely love you guys. And I love interacting with you. You make the show the best that it is. And I just pray to God you guys keep coming back. So shout out to you. Obviously, shout out to my family. Jack, I got to give you a personal thank you, man. Got a chance to meet this man's wife and kids, and they are great just like he is. Jack's kids were so mannerable. They were so mannerable. It was just refreshing. I remember having kids that age. Now my kids are grown, but you're doing a great job with them. And your wife is my daughter loved your wife, and my daughter's a great judge of character. So you are doing a great job. Ladies and gentlemen, he walks it like he talks it. And I just got to give you a special thank you and a special shout. You keep inviting me. I'll keep coming back. I'm going to shut up now because it's 9:01, sir. What say you?
Yes, Falcon fans, big shout out to you all. Shout out to Terry and your family too as well. And everybody in the chat. Once again, if you are just here to listen to Falcons talk Falcons football, or Falcon fans talk Falcons football, if you're here to listen about away game information from the Rise Up Tour, I got a fan the other day. He hit me up. He was like, I love the podcast, but just mention something about the fan club. Like, we just want to hear some type of updates, because, we talk about Vegas. We talk about the trips this year. Yeah. So no news tonight. Otherwise, in the Washington host hotels that we put out, and they're already taken from all of our members, so we got to put out some more tomorrow. I'll have the Minnesota information up too as well tomorrow. But for Falcon fans, thank you all. Please, please, please continue to rep the Falcons 24/7, and take care of your families and stay blessed, right? It is time now to go watch Team Green have their episode tonight. Team Black had theirs last week. Tonight.
Team Green. Did your power go? Oh, wow. Well, guys, looks like Jack's power may have gone. So I'm going to hang with you guys a little bit, I guess, until he comes back. So let's see here what we got. Wallace, Raheem has a well put together coaching staff that he learned from being with the Rams and his other 2 stops with the Commanders and us first time around. Yeah, Wallace, that's a great point. That is a great point. And I think he really did learn at every stop that he made, because he talked about that in depth in that interview when he was speaking to his past experiences from Kyle Shanahan in Washington, to everybody that was with him in Washington, to Tampa Bay, to other areas. So I mean, that was yeah. I mean, and he's just exciting. He's exciting to watch. He's exciting to be around. I actually love him. To this point, he's my favorite Falcons coach. And I love Dan Quinn, but I think that Raheem is going to take us where we need to go. So that's a good point. Lisa, do we know why Cousins ended up with all these chains with his shirt off? Yeah, I think it was something with the Vikings. I think it was something they got together, and it started as like one chain, and I guess it just kind of grew from there. They were leaving back from a win or whatever on a flight. They were joking around. One guy put his chain on his neck, and then it just kind of grew from there. But I think that was it. Georgia, Texas boy, what's going on, man? How you doing? I hope all is well. Let's see who else we got. Yeah, it was fun, Lisa. It was fun. No, Michael, I did not see any Saints fans there. And of course, I did not visit the Patriots, Lisa. Ew. What else do we have here? I think that's about it. I think we're caught up with all the chats. So, guys, I think Jack has had some sort of issue with his computer. Oh, you're back.
Xfinity
there? You said what?
Xfinity, man.
It happens, man. It's okay.
At 9:02 p.m. on a Sunday night.
It's
Xfinity,
okay.
Count your days. Because I'm going to go watch House of the Dragon first, and then when I'm finished, I'm going to call them. And if I don't get a response, I'm going to respond to somebody in the chat. There's going to be a live chat. There needs to be a live chat.
Oh, my God. You look like you're about to hit him with the Florida Evans. Damn, damn, damn. That's the look you got on your face right now.
Bro, because it happened to me the other night when I was playing esports, bro, and I'm glad it wasn't the actual tournament that we were set up for. You seen me play because we take that shit serious. But bro, in the middle of the game, AT&T's like, oh, we forgot. We got to do a region reset to you. Everybody's internet in that area. Like, bro, I'm in the 75th minute of a semifinal.
Oh my God, come on, man.
But it was ridiculous. But yes, Xfinity decided to do their reset now at 9:02. So I am back here on the channel. Terry, you're a podcaster, so you know what to do. You just talk Falcons with everybody. Everybody just loves to chat it up. You have your channel too as well, which I'm sure you have your show coming up. Please plug your channel. Let's get back to the shout out. So plug your channel.
Yes, sir.
Before we get up out of here. So that way fans can follow you on your channel, because you're live right now too as well. You'll probably be live tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir.
But what you got, Terry, for My ATL Sports?
Well, you just said it. It's For My ATL Sports 1 at YouTube. And, please stop by. Typically, they're Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I started out every day, but I don't think I'm going to do that anymore. That's, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to do my show. I'm trying to give you good content, and I'm just not at a point every day to where I can do that. So I think going forward, it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, typically between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. We'll talk about the latest going on in Atlanta sports, which is, Falcons, Braves, a little Hawks, a little, but, the draft is coming up. So we may delve into that, because I saw an interview that kind of scared me about the Hawks. So we may delve into that one tomorrow. But yeah, man, that's what I do there. And of course, I'm here. And yeah, all good. So thank you for the plug. What's up, Chris? I see you. And hey, even though you're late, it's never too late for you, brother. It's always good. A1 forever. A1 from day one.
Well, this is my second time being back, A1, so you're not late. You're kind of early to the second part of my podcast.
You are, right. It's the second half.
You're late to the first part of the podcast.
But you're early. You're
Xfinity
right on time.
Decides to pull the switch and do a reset.
You're right on time.
At 9:02, so you're right on time. But yes, Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. We are almost at a thou wow in the subscribers. It's because of you all. It's not me making accounts and signing up. I don't have a view bot like some of these big time streamers. Nah, this is real deal Falcon fans excited about One Time for the Fan.
It's 100% so.
And we will continue to do whatever we can to bring content to you all, so you all can enjoy it. Big shout out to Bodie once again. Big shout out to Chase. Big shout out to Carrie and of course T Will. Great news, y'all. Somebody from Sports Illustrated wants to talk with us. So we're going to set that show up, and we're going to make sure that we bring all the special guests you guys want here on One Time for the Fan. So thank you all for this opportunity to talk Falcons football with you tonight. I am Team Green, as I have to go watch Slaughterfest. All right, Terry.
All right, brother.
It's House of the Dragons night, man.
Until Wednesday, my friend.
Until Wednesday, or you never know. Could be a pop-up show.
Could
be another pop-up show. Last time we found out an hour before the show. So that's what a pop-up show is. It was a damn pop-up show for me, and I'm the one I was trying to set the shit up. So it's wild. But you never know when One Time for the Fan can go live. So hit that notification bell on YouTube. And of course, if you guys are also into the morning shows too as well, Terry could possibly go live a couple days this week too.
Yes, sir.
And then we have our Wednesday show, 8 o'clock. We have our breakfast with One Time for the Fan at Friday. But I can't wait to get back and talk Falcons football with you. Oh, yeah, bet. I got to take care of this. All right, y'all. Rise up.
Rise up.